What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back. Yay, back! Yay for being back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action spawning in the red color, playing as Loki. His name is Loki Owns. This is the most 2007 name you'll ever see. It's like the capital letters, the owns with a Z. Yes, this game was played in 2016, mind you. We will get back to this. He's playing Loki. He's in the red color. His opponent today from the Arf clan. We're bringing it back. His name is Kimo. He's playing as Ra in the blue color. Arf clan, I don't think I've seen anybody repping this tag in quite some time. But yes, this game was played in 2016. This is Magic. Magic came back and was playing as Loki, trying to prove to everyone that Loki is a playable god. And he's here trying to show that off against Kimo's Ra on no map other than Alfheim. One of arguably the most difficult Loki maps to play on. Now, I believe this game is played on, yes, the cliffs have been fixed, so it's not played on like 1.03 Alfheim. It's all played on patch 1.05, the Voobly Balance patch 1.05. And as Keen Flame says, Keen Flame, one of the more prominent members back in 2016, said, Magic made a smurf back in 2016, proving to people that Loki is good in 1v1. He got rank 1 on Voobly quickly with an insane win rate. So that's the history here. We'll see how things are going to go here, though, in this game. It's very easy to have an insane win rate if you go from 1600 up to the top because, well, all you have to do is beat a whole bunch of players well below your level and then just win like one best of series without losing or losing one game. If you win like 3-1, for example, against like someone your level, or 2-1 against someone your level, you've still got like 20 games won, so you're going to be like 22-1 in the end of your run. So whenever you see those crazy win rates, you got to take them with a grain of salt. Anyways, we'll see how things are going to go. We did have a really interesting start here early from Magic. I almost said Magyar. From Magic here, he actually went with some really early villages onto gold, which I actually think is something that Loki players should start incorporating, or probably do incorporate a lot more than they used to, even today. Where if you got mass hunt, you really should put at most 3 villages onto your hunt and then go straight over to the gold in order to get the dwarves out as fast as possible. Especially if you're playing against Ra or Egyptian and you're thinking you're going to need to go for a second town center because of low hunt or things like that. So we'll see exactly what Magic's plan is going to be here. Moving over to Kimo's base here, we can see Kimo is doing the most Joe build order you will ever see. This is peak Joe build order. It's literally 6 villages on a temple plus the priest. Why not? Funnily enough, it might actually be worth it to do that with the priest as Ra. Just hear me out. The priest gives a ridiculous bonus on building and then jumping a whole bunch of villages onto it to build it up as fast as possible does actually finish it quite quickly, though. I do think that if you throw your temple down with one villager and get it up at the same time, you're going to be netting yourself more resources. Anyways, we do see Kimo moving back. He does have himself hunting dogs already up through Tar. Moving forward with the priest and the pharaoh here, looking for some early game harass here. Now, back in patch 1.05, the pharaoh was not nerfed. So as soon as you hit the classical age, you will be able to fling stones at villages at max damage here, as the priest does get caught out here. Our Loki player Magic here going up through 4 SETI. No real surprises there. 4 villages on wood, 5 villages on gold, 7 villages on food here, jumping onto those chickens over here as well. Kimo's going to be searching around the map here, looking for something to do. We actually see a barracks straight away from Kimo really early as the priest pharaoh searching around. This is one of the weaknesses of playing as Ra with this early game harass. Is you don't know where to harass. You've got no idea where your opponent's resources are. So a lot of this time, some of the time this gets lots of damage done some of the time this gets no damage done. But he is moving around this side very, very quickly now. He might find the villagers, but Magic is quick to move back onto the cows in his main base over here as the Hearser are getting built. Now, Kimo, if he stays around here, he's got to be a little bit careful. He finds himself a relic here, the Odin's Wand, negative 20% temple upgrade, food, wood, gold, and favor cost. Still hasn't found anything. He's looking around. He realizes, yep, there is probably no villagers here. Still searching with the Wadjet and going to be pulling all the way back. So no damage done by Kimo in the early game. Now, generally speaking, this early game pressure that comes with that Priest and Pharaoh normally results in a handful of Norse infantry being sent back to the Ra base. And you end up getting a lot of damage done with that early game pressure, but Kimo doesn't actually find it, and he does decide it's time to retreat back home. He's starting to make some axemen here, sitting on this Ford town temple. No, that's not a temple. Town center here. And we'll see how things are going to go here as that Wadjet does get cleaned up by the Troll and by the Hearser. Nice little snipe there. Finishing that one as we do see the raiding cavalry starting to come out for Magic here. Now, this is something that is a little bit foreign to Hearser players, a little bit foreign to Loki players who only build Hearser. So, we'll see how things are going to go here as the Axemen starting to take down the temple here. Came a little bit out of position here as Magic searching around the map for something to do. The spied villagers pulling back into their base. Let's check out Kimo's economy right now. He doesn't have himself husbandry just yet, but he is researching it. And we'll see how things are going to be going here. He's got himself the monument up, waiting on that favor for the Shadoof here. Actually empowering the monument. That's generally speaking, not the best idea here, as Kimo now getting caught out just a little bit, and this is exactly what Kimo is going to be looking for. He's going to be looking to Shifting Sands all of these units back home, but he is retreating away. I feel like at this point, this Shifting Sands would be very, very good. There he goes, Shifting Sands. He picks off 3 units here, 4 units into this base, but there is no real defenses here, trying to get that ghost building down, but doesn't quite get it down. A couple more hits of damage here from this tower onto those units here as they're retreating away. And while Kimo does pull 4 units in, he only gets 1 kill there with the Shifting Sands. So nice play from Magic to get away there without losing too much. He does turn around. He's actually taking this fight nicely there. Going to be picking off an Axeman as well there with that raiding cavalry. 1 more shot and it will be falling. Doesn't quite get it. That Axeman can get healed back up for Kimo if he wants with the Priest. Moving along here. Magic at this point. Lots of resources in the bank and an armory coming down here. This is very, very interesting from Magic here. This is super unorthodox. He's going for a very, very early heroic age here off of next to no hunt with, I don't know what the exact idea is, but I do like this idea of he doesn't have that much food, so getting a market down and putting all those dwarfs he's built onto food is going to, onto gold is going to allow him to buy things like wood and food to get his farm transition, his town center up. All of this stuff is actually going to help him out quite a bit as we actually see Kimo allowing this granary to go down to Hearser, which is going to be building up that favor pool, which will allow Magic to have some advantage here going forward as rain does come through for Kimo. He's got himself a lot of farms, and we do have to remember that this was in a time where players probably were aware that farm placement is important, especially if they'd watched any Age of Empires 2. But for some reason, all the top players would spam their farms really, really bad. Like, for example, there could have been a farm placed here, yet there's a villager over here on a farm. This farm over here could have been here, making this farm attached to the town center, making it much more efficient. Now, neither here nor there, just a little bit of a history lesson in a way here, as Kimo nowadays makes his farms much, much better. Now, I do want to say we start seeing Bragi coming through here for our Loki player, Magic here. Now, here's the interesting thing. Magic did not go the Hall of Fames yet. He hasn't got Hall of Fames yet. Now, that's a really, really big thing because it means he's saved 300 wood in order for having it, like using it later, for example. And he hasn't really felt any pressure or any need to have it just yet. As the Bragi comes through, the infantry units coming out, which is a nice little turnaround here from Magic as those throwing axemen are going to be coming through. He will be losing a Hursar or two to those raiding cavalry, but he is trading that very, very nicely as Kimo realizes he has to retreat back. The battle boar is now out. 65 population for Magic to Kimo's 55 population, as we will be seeing the units have to retreat back as the priest pharaoh are going to be coming in. That battle boar needs to be very, very careful engaging this army as Magic going to be throwing down his healing spring right in the middle of the map here. A little bit dangerous here as some units need to get around the back here onto that pharaoh there. Nice little target fire there by the throwing axeman, but he needs to get this one happening a little bit better. There is still that flaming weapon, so he can throw down maybe a nice fight here for Kimo coming forward as Kimo microing his pharaoh really nicely. We're starting to see those raiding cavalry pushing forward, more axemen coming through into this game here, as we do see the Rock coming through to pick up those units as Hathor does come through. The Rock going to be pulling back. Now, one important, really, really important thing that Magic needs to do near immediately here is drop a hill fort on this gold mine, because that rock is speedy. It is basically the rock is a 4.5 speed rock. It's got 2 axemen and a Patsukos in it, so it effectively counters, literally counters the throwing axemen, and the axemen counter the Hursar. So it's really, really hard to deal with this rock in retrospect. That means after it shows up, it's really, really hard to deal with it after it shows up if you're not already prepared. So if you do get a hill fort down, this gold mine is going to be completely safe. Otherwise, a little bit difficult. So we'll see how things are going to go as the Hursar pops through. We do have this troll here ready to start taking this rock down. The troll does get a bonus against myth units, so very, very strong here. But Magic's got a full army here. One town center. He's starting to throw his farms up around this town center. Look at those farms. That's why Magic was so good. He knew. Got some dwarves coming over onto this gold mine now as Kimo's searching around. He does miss that one for the time being as he's a little bit distracted by these units moving in. Kimo now a little bit short on the gold at this point. He's going to have to figure out how to get some resources out as the villager's going to turn around and take this fight. He does have himself his upgrade here for Skin of the Rhino, which will allow those villagers to fight that little bit better as the Patsukos and Rock searching around stuff. Well, they actually do know there's a gold mine here, but they haven't scouted that one out just yet. Not getting as much damage done as he possibly can as Magic is trying to find his way through on this location, defending nicely with that pharaoh there, doing max damage from afar right next to the town center, and he does manage to hold on over there. Now, the thing is here, with this map that Kimo has, he doesn't really have a ridiculously safe wood line here. Both his wood lines are forward. He's got this tiny wood line over here, 5 trees, tiny wood line over here, but he definitely could be on that for the time being to get started, but he does have a whole bunch of food that he can sell. 86 population here, plenty of population to defend against this one here as Magic is trying to push through with these battle boards, but there's plenty of priest out, plenty of hero damage here, so Magic needs to rethink his attack here, pull back, find somewhere else. He does pick off a villager ever so slightly, pulls back. There's the villager going down. Nice play there from Magic, getting his units into a safe position there as Kimo still going to be searching around with this rock, looking for raids here. The dwarves have been spotted, but there's only a handful of dwarves on this location, dropping that Patsukos and the Axemen as the dwarves immediately start pulling away. The Rock's going to be scouting up onto this position, looking for a Locust here. He does find the dwarves here. Locust gets dropped down. That's a huge Locust. It's very, very different to the olden times here, but beautiful split there. To the present time. Olden times very, very different to now as the dwarf split. They're only losing 2 to that Locust. Beautiful play there by Magic to make that happen. As units are going to be pulling back. And look at that farm transition. Already 15 farms here. Beautiful play by our Loki player Magic here in this game. The Axemen going to be coming through. Do they have their upgrade? No, they do not. As the dwarves do pull around, they can move back up onto this gold mine, for example, or elsewhere. But now we do have a fully fledged chariot archer cavalry army here for Kimo. This is going to be very, very tough to deal with as the battle boar here I mean, Battle Boar is actually going to be able to do quite a bit of damage here. If you micro a little bit here, you can easily take this out with these units, but the Battle Boar will get a little bit of trade there if he so chooses. Going to be retreating back for the time being here as the units moving up onto this gold mine over here. If Kimo puts pressure over here, he's going to have a very, very nice time. Kimo, on the other hand, he needs to bring his Pharaoh and his Priest forward if he wants to raid this location, as the Patsukos is going to be searching around here for something to do. As now we do see that Hill Fort is finally coming up for Magic here. If he can start getting out Huskal, it's going to be a really, really big help against those Chariot Archers here. So we'll see how he's going to go as the Patsukos trying to get those rock grades in. One Hill Fort this side, one Hill Fort on the other side. He will be able to defend that location nicely here as the second town center is coming up. The market is up now as well for Magic, so he can start doing some market abuse, so to speak, where he starts buying some food here as the army pushing in. Plenty of Battle Boar over here. If there were Priest and Pharaoh on this position, it would be more than easily able to push through here, but not just yet. A nice micro here from Kimo, taking down the throw-in axeman here on this location as the Battle Boar do manage to pull in on this location here. The throwing axeman back here trying to get this hill fort up. We do see the Patsukos coming in onto this spot, as well as the rocks coming through here with the Patsukos and those axemen that were here. The village is going to start shanking down this wall over here to break down and grab this gold mine over there, as the Patsukos is now going to start targeting down those ox carts here, as the villagers need to pull off this location. The Pharaoh Priest coming through to start taking down the Battle Boar over here, as the army now moving forward onto this town center. There is a perfectly good gold mine over here, and I think in the back of his head, in the back of Magic's head, he knows this. He knows that this location isn't that important, and he's able to distract over here while he grabs this town center, gets set up on 3 town centers here. He's going to pull his dwarves back, make the long trek over here, but he's going to be completely fine here, even after suffering all that damage, because his economy is going to be so absolutely huge moving forward here. Now, Kimo, on the other hand, he's staying 1 town center and deciding to go straight to the Mythic Age. Now, I actually think this is correct here, but he doesn't know there's a gold mine here. It's a correct decision, but he doesn't know there's this gold mine here. If Kimo knew there was a gold mine on the corner of this map, he might make the more sensible decision to go town centers in this position, knowing that he's probably not going to be able to get a gold starve. Now, I love this play from Magic, how he's holding on to this flaming weapons. You have to hold on to flaming weapons or frost against Egyptian, against specifically Ra and Isis, because they've got access to a Son of Osiris. And you need to have something to give you an advantage to take that Son of Osiris out in these games. So we'll see if that's actually what Magic's overall plan is here, or if he just felt like he didn't have an opportunity to use it here in this game. As the town center is up, the army over here waiting to throw their hill fort down over on this position, as farms getting dropped onto this town center. Maybe a little bit dangerous to do that. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to just put villagers onto wood over here and send villagers onto this town center to build the farms, just on the fact that he might lose this to a 1 town center Ra push here, and then he'll be 2 town centers versus 1 and have to kind of deal with it a little bit back. So we'll see how things are going to go moving forward. Check on economic upgrades. We've got pickaxe here. No surprises. Loki players don't get economic upgrades. We already know that. And no real upgrades here for Kimo either, as he's going through Osiris. He will be thinking about getting himself shaft mine, I'm sure, and also irrigation going forward. But sitting back for the time being, units still trying to push through over here. Kimo still doesn't realize there's a gold mine on that position. He's searching around the map here with his units, trying to find something here. Now, the question is there another gold mine yeah, this gold mine over here is another one here that Kimo hasn't spotted, which would probably give him an inkling that there's another gold mine on the map here, as Son of Osiris does come through, or Osiris does come through for Kimo, as Kimo does grab both of his town centers now straight away. He's going to be in a good position here to continue, but in all honesty, Magic's completely fine here. Magic is completely fine. He just needs to get to the Mythic Age. Potentially a Thimble Winter here will give him somewhat of an ability to continue in this game, hurting Kimo's economy, leveling the playing field. We can see the units coming over here trying to delay this town center as it can, as the Son of Osiris is going to get a little bit of damage done over here. Units still trying to push through over here as the Old Stark here trying to deal with those heavy chariots. We still don't see a hill fort here to get those Huskal out. But what Magic's done is really, really nice here. He's just simply walled up. if you build walls, if your opponent's just got ranged units basically, and you just build walls, the ranged units can't raid you anymore. They can't do anything. So it's a nice play here from Magic, though he does need to start thinking about getting his technology upgrades moving forward in this game. As Kimo here, he is continuing along, building the villages over here, taking down this location, doing everything that he can to move forward. We see the cavalry searching around this location as best as they can. The raiding cavalry trying to take down the chariots here, and they do manage to do so nicely. A little bit idle though. They're going to be moving over here and finishing the rest of these units off as Kimo's not paying attention here, losing a little bit of those, losing a little bit of resources there for free though. Not exactly what he wants to do, but what Kimo needs to do here is literally just set up on this location and start pushing this town center, getting a town center advantage here. See if he's going to be able to do that moving forward. He's getting himself all these upgrades, fortified town centers coming through. We do see the raids now coming through onto this location, taking down the ox cart here. Nice play by Kimo, keeping Magic on the back foot, but Magic still has this gold mine remaining. It's got about 2,000 gold left, and there's this gold mine over here, which is going to be relatively easy for Magic to deal with as the hill fort is about to come up here. The units coming through. This is the opportunity that that Magic needs. That Son of Osiris gets out of position and you target it down with everything here as Flaming Weapons does come through. The problem is, where's the rock? The rock is sitting above here and the rock is going to pick up that Son of Osiris as he does manage to retreat there. Slight misplay by Magic here. He does buy himself the time to get himself out the hill fort there. However, the rock picks up the Son of Osiris and now that Flaming Weapons is useless. You need to have those thrown axemen out as well to have that bonus to throw those axes there at the rock. As now we do see this this cavalry getting a couple of villager kills in the base here. Magic's got plenty of economy at this point, still trying to push through, does push through in onto that Son of Osiris yet again. Going to be taking that one down. The rock not paying attention here as he does pick that one up there nicely. Champion chariot archers coming through at this point. We've got axemen chariot archers in at this point as the hill fort comes down. We've got ourselves some Huskarl coming through at this point, and while that's going on, holy dead villages. Completely missed raid. I mean, Kimo missed the raid just like I missed the raid. And Kimo's playing the game. It just shows how bad I am at this game. A huge raid there hitting onto Kimo's economy is really, really going to hurt. But Kimo's army is gigantic as the units coming through. Do we have those upgrades for the throwing axemen? Not just yet. The catapult getting picked up. The Son of Osiris getting picked up as the mummy here will be able to take down that battle ball with a little bit of micro there. The Son of Osiris drops immediately, gets targeted down by Magic there. Has to get picked up yet again. As Magic is desperately trying to hold on in this position here. He's going up through hell here. So not going through the Fimble Winter, not going for tier. A little bit surprising given the Son of Osiris is still alive, though. If he can deal with the Son of Osiris, that Nidhogg is going to become very, very helpful. Not only that, hitting the Mythic Age will get him access to the Ballista. Should be able to deal with a Son of Osiris if he's got access to the Ballista. But it does look like this town center is going to be going down, which is a very, very dangerous position now for Magic to be in. Kimo has a solid score advantage, so a lot of that is in hell at this point as the unit's trying to pull around the back here, going straight after the catapult here as the rock's going to move over here, going to pick that one up. The Son of Osiris gets targeted down next. Nice marker there by Kimo. He's going to be really, really hurting Magic here, making it very tough for Magic to continue. Magic doesn't have anything but fortified town centers. No Masons in just yet, but Masons is on the way here, going to be able to keep that town center alive for just a little bit longer here. We'll see if it's going to be enough time here to hold on as the town center gets repaired as best as it possibly can here. As the units have to pull back, Magic's going to regroup ever so slightly, giving ground onto this location. The mummies here need to get dealt with to allow the Fire Giant to push through, but Fire Giant going to be a really, really big move in this game as the Nidhogg will be able to come through onto this position and take down those champion chariots, but there's two priests and a Son of Osiris in on this position as well. As the town center does come down, the Fire Giant is out though. What can Magic's plan be here to make this work here? Is he getting his upgrades? Not just yet. He's making some Hersir out. Does he have himself that Hersir upgrade just yet is the big question. No, he still doesn't have Hall of Thanes here. So those Hersir not that useful here in this game as more Huskarl coming out. Magic trying to muster up an army here. 140 population at this point is actually, I mean, it's a little bit lower than what Kimo has, as the army is going to decide to push around onto this side, looking for this this gold mine over here, running straight past the town center to hit this location. The army going to be pulling back over here. The Rock out of position ever so slightly there, as the Nidhogg does drop down over here, as the Chariot Archers here will start getting taken down. Those Chariot Archers die very, very fast to this Nidhogg. The splash damage is absolutely huge here, but the damage coming down onto the Nidhogg is huge as well, mind you. The Mummy's doing a lot of damage as well. Nice pullback micro there, as the Fire Giant pulling in onto this position here, as Magic here doing his best over here to deal with the raids, getting raided there with the Dwarves, targeting those Chariot Archers back. But those are champion chariots. They don't die very easily at all, as the Fire Giant going to be moving forward. You can now use the Fire Giant to take down the Rock over here, but the Mummy is in on this position and will be able to immediately take down that Fire Giant. He still has to be very, very careful here, as he's pulling back ever so slightly those Dwarves right out in the open now, as Kimo not really checking that location over here, still trying to push off the gold on this spot over here, as the Nidhogg searching around over here for stray gold villages here. As now we've got champion raiders, and Huskal against this army. This is actually the perfect arming composition to deal with the Axeman Chariot Archers. If you make like medium or heavy raiders, heavy Huskal, you can take down the Axeman Chariot combo very, very easily there, if you can muster it, that is. But, I mean, the Loki economy here is pretty strong, so you should be able to make that happen. As Longhouse is coming down, we do have a little bit of side builded action or a market getting set up, as Magic realizes if he runs out of this gold mine, securing this gold mine is going to be a little bit difficult here, as the Nidhogg comes through onto this position, start getting some raids over here. The town center going to be targeting down the Nidhogg quite quickly, though. Does 10 damage-ish per second onto this Nidhogg, as the Priest going to be chasing this one down, as the town center coming back up. Did we see the catapult getting taken down? Yes. No, we didn't. The catapult's still alive here. Town center on the way up. Fire Giant doing nice things here. We do see that the Son of Osiris here getting targeted down here. The Rock going to be picked up here, as the Fire Giant's moving forward here. He should target down that Mummy, as it doesn't have any special left in it, but see the settlement coming down. The Rock trying to make its way in, and the Chariot Archer is getting a lot of damage taken there. The Fire Giant gets the Mummy taken down. The catapult coming through onto this position does manage to hit the town center just barely in time here, but now there's no Mummies left. The Chariot Archer is taking tons of damage here in this game. The Rock still getting targeted or getting picked up and getting kept alive here in this game, as Magic is definitely struggling to deal with that one, but the Son of Osiris getting closer and closer to falling here. If you're unaware of the best way to utilize the Son of Osiris, it's to keep the Son of Osiris in the back of your army and target down melee units. So that allows you to splash damage or chain lightning damage a whole bunch of units here, as that Son of Osiris gets closer and closer to falling. Town center is back up, or still continuing to come up here, as Magic is able to continue to flood through on this location. He's got tons of longhouses right now, 6 longhouses on this position, producing those heavy raiding cavalry, as the Son of Osiris does go down there finally, and now the Huskal coming through as well to help out on this position. The Mummy will be able to start taking down those Fire Giants, though. One Mummy trading for one Fire Giant is actually a good trade there for the Loki player, if they are continuously fighting, because they're going to be able to continue to keep that that kind of 2 Fire Giant mass up, which is kind of what you want to be doing here. As we see the units pushing through, raiding cavalry trying to help out as best as they can. Now the mercenary infantry coming through. Now this was pre-mercenary nerf here, ladies and gentlemen. However, Kimo, he hasn't started a trade route just yet. Now there is a gold mine over here. There's plenty of gold mines on the map, but Kimo not starting a trade route just yet. He doesn't have the food to start it, to be honest, but Kimo not starting a trade route here does mean he doesn't have gold to make these mercenaries, and these mercenaries are going to be hurting quite a bit here, as we do see the Rock getting deleted there, maybe? Question mark, as the villagers do move over here now. Magic, on the other hand, he has started his trade route just barely, but he's now moved over onto this gold mine. His trade route is getting spotted here, and he hasn't defended it at all. So that's going to be a really, really big weakness moving forward here, as the double Fire Giants here from Magic are allowing him to really, really hold this position nicely, though. You've got to be careful not to move that too forward onto that mummy there. The mummy, unfortunately, not microing at all there, as the fire giant going to be targeting that one down. And if the mummy doesn't have a special, the fire giant wins hard against those mummies. Beautiful micro there, or awareness to chase that down. I guess awareness is a word, but a little bit of a capitalization on the mistake there from Kimo's perspective there, as those raiding cavalry are doing so nicely here. Now look at this. Bronze shield. Bronze shield is in for Magic, because there are so many raiding cavalry. Teching up through shields and spending all those resources in that area allows those raiding cavalry to work even better. Now, mind you, Kimo does have copper mail and bronze weapons, so his chariot archers are still pretty good in these positions, but it's a really, really smart move there by Magic. And now Magic gets himself this town center, and he's going to start going into Ballista here. Ballista Fire Giant is scary. It is scary for Ra players to deal with if you can set it up. He's got the Fire Giant. He's got the Ballista. The only thing missing right now is a wall around the Ballista. Now, literally, if you build a box for your Ballista to sit in, and then you just need to keep building boxes moving forward with, basically, you probably don't want Hearst. That costs a little bit too much population at this point. Make Ulfsark at this point, or Huskal to build those walls. And then you can start setting up a position on this location. Now, we are seeing the raiding cavalry checking it out over here. Kimo started his trade route in that top corner, but there's no way that Magic is going to be allowing that as the raiding cavalry search through on this location for stuff to take out. We're starting to see that finally a spearman tech switch here from Kimo, but it seems a little bit too late here. Now, let's look at the favor. Kimo's got 3 monuments, which is, well, hang on. How much favor is it? It is roughly 15 favor a minute. So he can make 1 mummy every 2 minutes-ish. 25 favor, just under 2 minutes each. That's really slow considering there's 4 fire giants already out and Kimo's got no mummies out. So Kimo's in a really, really tough position here to deal with these fire giants. The ballast are pushing in. Kimo doesn't even have the gold at this point to spam mercenaries out and actually deal with these ballast. And even though there's no walls here, it doesn't matter because there's no way to deal with this at this point here, as the town center is getting taken down incredibly fast here by the fire giants. Beautiful play here by Magic as the ballast are able to destroy this town center, and somehow, some way, Magic is making this game, turning this game into his favor. He still has this Nidhogg. It's still moving around this location, still harassing villagers here. Town center is down. Mummy gets 1 fire giant kill, but immediately gets targeted down, and that is exactly the mindset you need to have when you've got fire giants. It is mummy comes and kills your fire giants lose 1 but kill the mummy. You always have to be trading 1 for 1 with those mummies there. As now the Hearst are going to start taking that town center down. We do see some raids coming in onto this location. The trade route of Magic has been spotted. There is a ballista coming in onto this position to help take these units down, but he needs a little bit more than that to deal with that one there. As we do see Champion Raiders is now in settlement, still coming up very, very slowly. Kimo on the back foot quite a bit. It looks like he doesn't really have any gold here, and I think back in 2016, Kimo wasn't really aware that he was going to be the designer of the Kimo market. Now, this market here is probably just as good as the Kimo market anyways, but town center now going to be coming down, and that's going to be putting a complete stop to the trade route of Kimo moving forward as the raiders come through to deal with those chariot archers over here. There is a mummy out right now for Kimo, as he's going to be able to try and utilize that one moving forward here. The barracks getting taken down, idle villagers over here. The fire giants able to take down this fortified town center on this position here beautifully here. The spearmen coming through. Where is the mummy? The mummy now finally moving in onto this position as Kimo trying to get in over here. We do see the Pharaoh getting taken down over here. We see the fire giants taking this down. The mummy going to be coming through. Got to be able to immediately target this one down as the mummy does come in, gets 1 kill. If you're Kimo, you need to immediately retreat back. You can see how little damage that mummy takes, and now the fire giants target it down. No micro from Kimo, loses that mummy, and now those fire giants are back to being incredibly strong over here. Chariot archers still returning back onto this position over here, as now Magic is on 4 town centers, I should say, but he is short on gold at this point. So Magic now in a bit of a problem here. Gonna be chucking up a temple over on this position. Needs to start the villager production yet again to get onto some more gold mines over here. The Huskar going to come up onto this location. A market getting thrown up over here is going to be a really, really big help to get his economy going. But his army has been quashed here, ladies and gentlemen, as Kimo, he's also in a really tough position. Kimo needs to capitalize on this position that he's in right now, but he doesn't have any villagers remaining. He's lost a ton of villagers, 10 idle. He's got 5 repairing this town center, so he's probably sitting at roughly about 50 villagers here, maybe 60 if you take into consideration the camel caravan that he's got. But a very, very tough position to be in. Nonetheless, now we're starting to see the ballaster coming through to push through onto this location to take down those houses and everything else, as the chariot archers do everything that they can to push through over here. The raiding cavalry coming through. They do spot this location. That pharaoh there looks like a very juicy target there with 1 HP. We'll see if he's going to be able to take it down as Magic retreats back. 166 population here. No fire giants out at this point, as we are seeing over here the raiding cavalry still pushing over here. Magic hasn't set up the walls just yet. Market now up on this position over here. He can delete this trade route now and have the trade route moving up onto this spot if he so chooses. Walls coming up over here as well, as the raiding cavalry coming through onto this position, trying to get a little bit of damage done onto the trade route of Kimo as well. As now we've got raiding cavalry ballaster composition here from Magic. This is the most counterish most counterish champion chariot composition you can get. The ballaster are good against the ballaster are good against the chariots. The raiding cavalry are good against the chariots as well. Literally, there is no counter here except for cavalry. If you go into cavalry here, cavalry spearmen here, you can counter this army, but it costs a lot of food, and Magic knows that Kimo doesn't really have the option here to make that happen. Because now the ballaster going to be able to start taking down this town. Oh, that one person just paying for himself times 5 there. That fire giant spawn is absolutely gigantic for Magic in this position here, as the chariots do all get taken down. Those ballaster here need to move in onto this fight here, as the town center is getting targeted down incredibly fast. Walls coming up now for Magic, as Magic has got himself a winning position in this game and will not relinquish it here. Coming for the mercenary cavalry getting taken down. Kimo now down to 107 of 120 population, 110 of 100 population now that he has decided to tap out. GG, well played by Magic. Gets the dub here with the Loki, showing he was in a losing position here. He managed to pull this game back. Somehow, some way, managed to make his army strong enough to deal with what Kimo was doing here. It was an incredibly well-played game here by Magic. There was a point here where Magic losing this town center seemed very detrimental. I think if he went through Tier instead of through Hell, the economic damage that Tier would have done would have allowed him to hold this town center and actually be in front in that position. But going through Hell meant he had to give up this town center in exchange for these incredibly strong fire giants, and being able to micro these well enough, he was able to hold here. Kimo really, really made it hard for Magic, though, with that rock abuse. I think if Magic had upgraded his throwing axeman to get the special damage against the rock, he would have been able to take it down. Alternatively, getting to the mythic edge a little bit faster and making some ballaster, he would have been able to hold a little bit easier. But nonetheless, managing to get a dub here on Alfheim with Loki. Yes, it was 2016. Yes, Magic is one of the best players to have ever played the game. But this is a fantastic game here by Magic. If you guys enjoyed this one, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next game.